Greetings, I am Erin Patton, metaphysical master in a millennial age, and it is my life's purpose to guide you and organizations along an enlightened path. So I invite you to sit comfortably and tune in as I welcome you to the Meta Business Millennial, where we get the real conversations you won't get in the boardroom so that we understand this is exactly the path we need to be on in order to grow, evolve, and thrive. Greetings, I am Erin Patton, also known as Master L, and welcome to the Meta Business Millennial Podcast. We are live across social media. We are live on Instagram, YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook. So wherever you want to find us across your favorite social media platform, I'm there. So I am just really happy to be here today. I'm in my new studio, it's giving the same vibes, but in a whole different city, in my new home in Austin, Texas. And I just couldn't be happier to be here right now. I'm just hoping that you guys can hear me okay. Looks like, my mic is on good. Y'all are coming through in the chat. I'm seeing people coming in and saying, hey. So thank you guys so much for locking in. And I'm just really happy to present today's topic, which is very special to me because a few months ago, I took a trip to Hawaii and I shared it across my social media. And I also shared it, on my podcast. And Hawaii, it just changed my life. It was my 40th birthday. It was a really special event for me. And I had a really amazing awakening when I did that. And it was really to serve women. And at that time, it was really about Black women. That's really what came to me very strongly and very clearly. And as I started, changing my messaging and changing my content and, really, focusing very acutely on this new audience, it started to dawn on me that while I've spent so many podcasts and so many conversations talking about Black and essentially my disassociation with the Black American identity and have criticized it openly. And I'm happy to express a little bit more of that in today's podcast. And the reason why, and I guess I can just get into it now. The reason why I had criticized the Black American definition is because of its oppressive nature and because of its constraining identity. It's a boundary. And I feel like as the divine being that I am in this human form, I've been able to explore so much of my multidimensionality. And this is, maybe new for some of you and even hearing something like multidimensionality, but we do have spirit bodies, we have soul bodies, we have mind bodies, we have emotional bodies, we have mental bodies. We have at least 7 layers to and including our physical body. And as I have started to integrate all these aspects of myself, it's being Black American is just so limiting. And it also is constrained to a few hundred years time period. And we know melanated people have existed on this planet since the beginning of time. So why the fuck would I limit myself to a very small definition of who I am? And so this is why the Black American identity certainly doesn't resonate with me. Yet I do identify, of course, I'm melanated. I have curly, kinky hair that I play with a lot and fluff. And so on the exterior, I certainly appear as a Black American woman. Yes, but at the end of the day, I am a divine being in human form. So at the end of the day, I am a divine being in human form and have had experiences in this lifetime as a Black American woman that have helped to shape the way I move and breathe and live in this day and time. And so many people who look like me also have had these experiences, but have certainly had other experiences that they can bring to bear, which is why this episode is so important to me, because it's about redefining what that Black means, what that Blackness is. And let's just go ahead and jump into it, okay? So, wherever you are, if you're watching this video, certainly like it, subscribe to my channel, do all the things. I'm at I am Erin Patton. I really appreciate you all tuning in and just supporting me, because I've been doing this for a couple years now. And it just gives me so much life, and it gives me so much, joy to be sharing myself with all of you. And so, as I said before, you know, the Black American experience is limiting. Okay. So when we think about races, division by race was never about color. It was always about control. And, I'll say that again. Division by race was never about color. It was always about control. So when we think about the race conversation, it always is a divisive one. It's always people feeling insecure or defensive or offensive. And of course, like, that's actually what it's designed to do. And so we really want to start seeing, like, okay, if we're going to be enlightened beings, this has always been my tenet since I started the meta business world, is teaching, inspiring, and working with the new enlightened leaders, the enlightened leaders across the world. And if we are going to be arcing towards this enlightenment path, then first of all, we need to understand what's been done to us systemically, socially, and also mentally. And so by ascribing to these race conversations and these race boundaries, I'm just going to continue to call them that, it's limiting. And then we allow ourselves to be then controlled by someone else's narrative of us. This is who we are. And, history is exactly what it is. His story, a story that someone's telling us, and we can choose to accept it or we can choose not to. And I posted about this before. We can honor our ancestors without being bound by their narratives, without being bound by by their oppressive experiences. And so this is why the Black conversation has to be had in redefining what Black is. And so without further ado, let's go ahead and redefine what the Black is, okay? So for me, the Black is BLK, which we all know still is Black, and it stands for beautiful, loving, and knowledgeable. And I'm going to say that again. BLK, this is the new Black, is beautiful, loving, and knowledgeable. Okay. So I am going to go through each of those aspects of Black, and defining what beautiful means, what loving means, what knowledgeable means. And this is an upgraded definition, if you will, because I think that oftentimes we look at beautiful and loving and knowledgeable, and it's very surface level. And it's okay, because these are just our own exposure to these words and people using them. And as we start to ascend along the consciousness spectrum, then we can start imbibing other higher definitions of these words. And this is why I love this spiritual journey so much, this consciousness journey, if you will, this intelligence journey, because we can start to think for ourselves, define for ourselves, redefine for ourselves actually what resonates with us in our beingness. Okay. So when we think about the word beautiful, beautiful is not just about looks. Okay. Beautiful is an essence. Beautiful is not just about looks. Beautiful is an essence. Okay. And the example that I use for this, and I love this example because, take my mom. She is 76 years old. To me, she's so beautiful, but it has Lewy body dementia. So it's very similar to Parkinson's in that it's severely limited her mobility. She's damn near mute, like she can't speak. She can understand, of course, she's fully present. And, it inhibits her ability to do most anything, that requires, like eating, bathing, go to the restroom, everything. She requires help to do everything. And I kid you not, like, people are so mesmerized by her when she walks into a room, or when she walks, like we were living in a building, when she would walk into the lobby, everyone would stop and speak to her. And literally a man was in tears when she smiled at him, and he thought she was so beautiful. And it wasn't because she had a BBL or a boob job or a banging body. It is her essence. It is the energy that she carries that makes her beautiful. And I'm sure many of you have an elderly grandmother or elderly person in your life, or someone in your life who doesn't necessarily fit the prescribed beauty narrative, who you find so beautiful and so attractive and so inspiring. So this is essentially the beauty that we are aspiring to. And of course, like, I do my makeup, I do my hair, I try to dress nice for this podcast and look really, really good for all of you all the time. But at the end of the day, I am beautiful because of the energy that I carry, because of the kindness for which I treat people, the manner in which I use my voice, and I say thank you and greet people and look people in the eye and I smile. So these are characteristics of beauty that many of us had actually not been taught. And it's okay, because some of us also could be shy, have social anxiety, which is so common now, especially post-pandemic. So we really want to be kind to ourselves as we explore what beauty is for us. Okay? What being beautiful is for us. And I actually encourage you, and this is like hopefully it can be inspiration for you to maybe journal about, like, what would it mean for you to feel beautiful? For me, you ask yourself, what would it mean for me to feel beautiful? Is it to have a banging body? That could certainly be it. But would it be okay for me to smile more, to come out of my shell more, to speak to people more, to look people in the eye more? So these are opportunities, honestly, for you to be able to open yourself up and open that essence of yourself up so that you can be the beautiful being that you've been called to be. Woman, the woman. The woman is a beautiful being. Not because of her boobs, not because of her ass, not because of her banging body, because we all know that that's fleeting, but because of her essence, the energy she carries. And I really feel like, this is, it's really deeply resonating with me, because this is something too that I feel like a lot of us have struggled with over the years. And I've had so many podcasts about beauty. Like, I had my own beauty brand, my own hair product line, because I struggled with accepting my own hair and my own being, and how I showed up in the world. And I wanted to be able to, change myself, but this is just how God made me, and we co-created this together. And so I want us to be able to learn how to accept ourselves just as we are. And in that acceptance is when we're able to express that essence and express that beauty. And it's so telling of just like where I am too in my journey, because I feel at my best because, as I talked about on the previous episode, I love myself. I truly do. And part of that love for self is expressed in beauty, is that expression of the essence that I'm speaking to. And an affirmation that I spoke to before that people really resonated with was, I love myself, I am me. And I would say that in the mirror, I would repeat that to myself over and over. And that was an opportunity to really speak over myself, that which I want to emanate, which brings us to the next piece around love and being loving. And I know that our definition of love has been co-opted and corrupted and commoditized and sexualized, and all of that is great. And as we rise in consciousness, which we are doing, particularly on this journey, if you're tuning into the Metaphysics Millennial, you're on a higher consciousness path. We want to take that which we have learned and grow from it, grow with it. And as always, I say, we look, we don't judge. We look at ourselves, we look at the world around us, we look at where we come from, and we just don't judge it. We see it for what it is, and like, wow, like, this could be upgraded, this could be improved. And so I feel like we certainly can grow from the definitions of love we've been taught. And I see someone put a thumbs down on sexualized, but love been sexualized. And I mean, certainly that is an expression of love, certainly the sexual engagement. But at the end of the day, that's not all it is. It's just not all about romantics. And I was speaking about this to one of my team members because I put a heart on my in my bio next to me being a shaman, and I used a green heart instead of a red heart. And green actually is the color of the heart chakra, the eminence, the essence, the energy of the heart chakra. And actually, red is the energy and the essence of our root chakra. And so when we're looking at red hearts and seeing red everywhere for Valentine's Day representing love, it actually represents the lowest level of love. And again, there's no judgment there. It's just where people are at in terms of the root. And as we rise in consciousness, as this journey is about, and I keep repeating that, so it must be relevant to this audience, then we have to understand where we sit in love. And it's here, and not at our tailbone, which we're so used to ass shaking and twerking and seeing all that. That actually is reflective of the root energy, the earth energy. And as we rise, the heart chakra is like 1, 2, 3, 4, fourth chakra. And so we're rising in consciousness. It's actually a higher level of consciousness. And it does not have to do solely with the sexual energy. Actually, the sexual energy is the sacral energy, the second chakra. So, you're welcome so much for that insight. I'm glad that you're tuning in. And so as we're rising in our consciousness and understanding where we sit, so we have our root chakra, our sacral energy, which is our uterus area, which we will get into in another podcast. That's the sexual creative energy. Then we have our solar plexus, which is our diaphragm, our confidence. When you feel like you get punched in the gut. Oh my God. Like that's the solar plexus. That's our confidence, our willpower, our desire to do things. Then we have our heart, which is like the center of our being. It's the center of our beingness. So when we move from love, we move from our center of our beingness. When you say it with your chest, yeah, I say it with my chest. That's my heart. I say it with my chest. You feel my energy here. That's love. Love comes from here, not here. Okay? Love comes from here. And even when you embrace someone and give someone a hug, especially you give them a real hug, they feel your love. They feel your heart. That's where love lives. And actually, when our hearts connect, it's like they're like magnets, and there's like energy, and they're like pulsating, and it's like creating more energy, and it's just like so beautiful. That's why when you're really giving someone who you love a hug and you embrace them, it's so powerful. It's healing. That love is actually healing us in an embrace. It's not sexual. And so this is hopefully something that we can come to a higher understanding of. And I'm going to continue to speak about what it means to be beautiful, loving, and knowledgeable, what it means to be a beautiful Black woman, what it means to be a Black woman, a beautiful, loving, kind woman, not a BLACK woman. This is essentially what we are arcing towards and building towards, is this beautiful, loving, and knowledgeable woman at all times. Then we command respect. We command admiration. We command honor. It is our birthright because we are embodiments of it. When you walk with it and talk with it, then you're treated as such. That's a queen energy. That's the energy that's essentially my template, my soul template. And that's why so many people are always like, queen, you look like royalty, on. It's because of the energy that we carry, that I carry. And the love is just, and I want to continue to speak about love because I just really want us to understand how it can really change our lives when we begin to show that love to ourselves, as we begin to open our hearts for ourselves. And I used to do a lot of heart openers when I started doing yoga, and it's just like back bends and stretches and things that really open your heart. Even upper back exercises, even bending forward and stretching, just being open more here is an opportunity too to physically start to feel that love. Also in Tai Chi, I have on this bra, but we would actually, and I do it in the morning when I do my meditation. You can tap your heart right here. You can use I have long nails, but you can use your fingers, tips of your fingers, or I use my nails because they're hard anyway. And I just tap right here. And this helps to awaken the heart energy. And you do it hard. You want to be able to feel it. And you tap it here, and you breathe. And then you're able to awaken that love energy, that heart energy. Because a lot of times we didn't been hurt, we didn't been abused, we didn't been talked bad to, and it's mostly sometimes it's of course coming from ourselves. We're punishing ourselves first, and then it's being reflected back to us in our reality in the world around us. And so our hearts sometimes get closed, and while we have even bad posture and we hunch when we should be shoulders back, chest out, loving the world and getting love back from the world. And so when you do heart openers and really the chest tap is a huge, game changer, and just feeling the heart, feeling that part of yourself. Hey there. Thanks for speaking and coming into the room, y'all. But yes, you can go ahead and tap right here. And this is a beautiful opportunity to start opening up that energy in your love heart chakra space. And so it's looking like you guys are really resonating with this. So I'm really grateful that y'all are really taking to this. And so when we're talking about the beauty, we talked about the beauty, we talked about the love. Now we're going to talk about being knowledgeable. And you guys, I got chills. I got chills when I say about being knowledgeable, because we know what it means to be beautiful, somewhat. We talk always about love. We talk about love every day. Every song is about love. Everything about love. It's just a lower version of it. But what do we talk about? Do we even talk about knowledge? Do we talk about knowledge? Okay? We are all out here being stupid followers, following celebrities, following politicians, and we do not tune into our own divine intelligence. We out here, stupid as fuck, many of us. I was one of them, just a lemming out here. Just, following, wanting to be, worshiping, and not tuning into my own divine intelligence. Okay? So we really want to know that, trust that, understand, overstand, understand that our divine intelligence, our knowledge, is our superpower. This is actually how we come out of poverty, how we come out of abuse, how we come out of sticky situations, challenging situations, fucked up situations. Because I did it. I speak from experience around here. I don't play by what I teach. I live by what I teach. And you can tell in the way I speak, in the way I show up. So when we talk about knowledge, this is God's law. Not the legal system. Not what we're seeing out here in these books. This is God's law. What my son knows. What a child comes with. We know the difference between right and wrong. And we're here to cultivate that, to practice that, to grow with that, to treat others with that, to treat ourselves with that. But do we? Hell no. We get lost in the fucking sauce. We scrolling, we scrolling, we scrolling. We're eating, crazy shit. We're going out partying. We're listening to all this trap music, and we are fucking trapped in this matrix. Being controlled, being dominated, being manipulated, being poisoned, and allowing it. And allowing it. That's the part that gives me chills. Because I was there too. I allowed it. I did not know, and I also can also give myself grace. I did not have the level of consciousness to know about knowledge. I did not. And it's interesting because my father, this is why I also got chills. My father had his own experiences and also, was a Mason. And so he would always say knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. He just would say that. And knowledge absolutely is closely tied to wisdom because wisdom is the word of God. And then the understanding, once I started to get into the conscious community, is being able to stand under the word. And then as we also learned, then you can stand over the word, overstand, okay? You got to have a different perspective of the word. And then as you have the overstanding and the understanding, then you have the inner standing. That's the embodiment. That's what I got. That's the lived experience of the practice that you studied, the practice that you experienced and saw, and then the practice that you learned from, you embodied that shit. I ain't gonna never do that again. That's the inner standing. But that comes from knowledge. Okay? And I want to read this comment that someone said. It was like, sometimes when I talk to people, they look at me strange if they mention something about a celebrity and I tell them I don't know what they're talking about. Hey, sis, I'm right here with you. I don't know what they doing out here. I know what I'm trying to do out here. I know what my close friends and family are trying to do out here. But what we're being force-fed by media, okay, Kendrick, Drake, okay, I kind of followed that a little bit. I kind of know like what Beyonce's doing because at the end of the day, that's my sis. Like I love Beyonce. That's a whole different conversation. And like I mean, we need to focus on ourselves, okay? That's really at the end of the day what we should be focused on. And everything out here is a distraction. It's entertainment. And they call it such. And so at the end of the day, it's like, no, we don't want to live in a vacuum because I did that too. I was probably like you, sis, the Gypsy AJ. I was probably like you in that, like, and this may not be you, but there was a season in my life where I really isolated myself. I was in a fucked up situation. Like I was in a bad relationship. I was really isolated from a lot of my friends and family. So all I did was just channel myself into learning spiritual things. Like I would watch these teachers all day. I would read all day. I didn't know anything about what's happening in mainstream world. And it was just what I needed in that season. I'm not saying that we need to be hermits. I'm not saying that we need to be monks and nuns out here, like priests. It doesn't even, I'm a priestess, but like new age. Like that doesn't make sense in this world. We came to this planet to experience this world, to experience ourselves in this world, okay? Even more clearly and even more, how can I say that's more precise? Experience ourselves in this world. So to lock in with somebody else's life journey and follow them blindly and excessively, you're doing a disservice to yourself and to God at the end of the day. And there's no punishment in that. Like, I'm not saying you should feel bad about it. I'm just encouraging you to consider something different, to consider like, wow, like I'm giving a lot of my fucking attention and energy to people who don't even know I exist. Like, think about that for a second. So maybe I should give some of that attention and that energy to myself. And what would that do for my life? What would that do for my bank account? What would that do for my relationships? And that's essentially the knowledge path, the knowing path, the knowing of self. That's knowledge. The knowing of self. So this is essentially what Black means: the beautiful, the loving, the knowledgeable, the knowledge of yourself, the knowledge of how I show up, the knowledge of my relationship with God, my conversations with God, my studying of the word, of his word, even if it's the Bible, if it's other texts, if it's other religious traditions where you're still connected to, go with that. I started there too. I did the Christian walk. I did the kind of Islam walk. I did the Nuwapian walk. I can't lie about that. I was locked in with Dr. York's text, not him per se, but his text. That actually is really what helped to accelerate my path. I just have to give that Nuwapian journey credit for what it was. I was locked in with Dr. Phil Valentine and his University of Communication Sciences walk. I followed path with the Korean organization, Body and Brain. I did the Tai Chi journey with them for a few years. That was another beautiful learning experience, knowledge gaining, just learning so much about the emotional body, the spiritual body, our physical body, our channels, the opening up of our channels, acupuncture, studying acupuncture. Like, I've studied so many things. This is the knowledge of self. How do I continue to heal myself? How do I continue to connect more deeply to God? My yogic path. I studied yoga, became a certified yoga instructor. So there are so many traditions out there that we can learn from that really serve to enhance your knowledge of self, your knowing of God, your knowing of your God self, the knowing of your higher self. We can keep going with this knowing, okay? And I really want to encourage you all that the knowledge path is a lifelong one. Like, I'm constantly learning about myself. I'm constantly seeing things about myself that I just didn't know even existed. Like, even in this journey here to Austin, and this journey, living in this new environment, I'm learning so much about myself. How I expected everything to go wrong. Oh, I'm getting chills again. I expected everything to go wrong. Even though God guided me here. God told me to move here. I call this place my promised land, and I like to share everything with y'all. I don't have no shame. I came here because God told me to come here. I did not have a plan. I still don't have no plan. And the whole time, it's been about a month, I just felt like everything was gonna go wrong. I couldn't sleep. I was anxious. I was nervous. I couldn't breathe sometimes. I was making myself this way. I didn't even know I had that still in me. That self-doubt, the self-punishment. That energy doesn't serve our highest good. It certainly doesn't serve my highest good. What good does it do to make of all these scenarios of my mind of what could go wrong? How does that serve my good? Instead, I would just wake up in the morning, pray, talk to God. I actually would express my concerns to God, crying. Literally for days, I'd be crying. God, how am I going to do this? What am I going to do about this? What am I going to do about that? Crying. And then as I go through my day, it'd be so smooth. Everything go like perfect. So it's like I got so conditioned to a path in a life where things were so traumatic, were so hard, were so challenging, was so painful. And now I'm in a place where I have so much help, so much support, so much love. Everything goes so smoothly. Everything's working out for me. And I was literally uncomfortable there. I'm getting way more comfortable now. I ain't gonna lie. It's like, ooh, it's like, yes. Like, I've been waiting to be here. Like, this is heaven. So, this is what the knowledge journey does for you. When you know yourself, you begin to trust yourself. You begin to trust everything that you do is going to work out for you. And it does. That's next fucking level, y'all. That's the level we're trying to get to. That's the path of the enlightened one, the manifester, the great manifester, the great master. This is where we're going, sisters. I'm there. And with that, I want us to move into a meditation. I feel like it's a good time to start to integrate all of this that I just dropped around being beautiful, loving, knowledgeable, what I call the new black. Fuck BLACK. And I'm going to say it again. I'm going to say it always. BLK. Beautiful, loving, black. Beautiful, loving, knowledgeable, black. The new black. So I want us to really start to embody this. So I want you all to find a comfortable position, whether you're lying down, like really comfy, like you don't have to be sitting up, like, you know, Indian style or anything. Like I love to kind of do this because it's just comfy for me. But find a comfortable position for yourself. If you're sitting in a chair, make sure your feet are flat and your back is straight. And begin to like close your eyes. Or if you want to keep them open, keep them open. You know, do what you feel comfortable doing. Close your eyes and focus on your breath. I want you to focus on breathing normal. You don't have to do no extra hold it. You don't have to do no extra nothing. Breathe in through your nose and breathe out through your nose. Real simple. Just focus on your breath. And as we begin this journey together, I want you to know that this is a sacred space for reclaiming yourself, reclaiming and redefining what Black means to you. Okay, this is what today's meditation is about. And it's not a label that's been placed upon you, you know, what we've been taught, but as an essence that flows from you, that flows within you, that flows around you. Take a deep breath in and release. Take another deep breath in. And if it feels comfortable for you, you can breathe out through your mouth. And with each breath, I want you to feel like you're creating more space in your being. I want you to also think about releasing some of the old definitions of Black that were never yours to carry. I want you to visualize any limiting definitions or any limiting beliefs about Blackness dissolving with each exhale. For example, like thinking about like slavery. Whew, excel that shit. Thinking about civil rights and getting ate by dogs. What? Like, think about all these horrific things we've been taught about Blackness, the projects. Oh, hey, go ahead and breathe that out. Crap, all the things. Breathe it out. It is not ours to carry anymore. That is not our narrative today. These were tools of control, not truths of your essence. Okay. As you breathe now, feel yourself breaking free from these limitations. Feel it in your being. Now bring your awareness to your heart center. Remember, we talked about that heart center. Maybe even imagine a green light and feel it expanding. Feel that green light expanding. And repeat silently to yourself, I am beautiful. I am beautiful. Not beautiful by external standards of beauty or external standards of how you should show up, but beautiful in your divine essence, the beauty that flows from your soul, your unique expression of divine feminine energy. Feel this beauty radiating from you, within you, around you. It's in the way you nurture, in your resilience, in the wisdom passed through your bloodline. This beauty cannot be diminished or defined by anyone else. Now, allow your awareness to expand further. Feel your consciousness elevating to a frequency of love. Repeat to yourself, I am loving. I am loving. Not just in how you love others, but existing in that love frequency, a state of consciousness that transcends romantic attachment. Feel yourself vibrating at this frequency, where love isn't just about relationships with others, but it is something that you are. This love transforms not only these relationships, but it can transform worlds. It can transform this world. Now bring your awareness to the crown of your head, right here, top of your head. Feel it opening to divine intelligence. And repeat to yourself, I am knowledgeable. I am knowledgeable. Not just in books, academics, but in the infinite wisdom that flows directly from God. This knowledge combines wisdom and understanding. It's your birthright. Feel yourself connecting to this unlimited divine intelligence. It flows freely and forever. It has always been available to you. You don't need to follow others' limited perspectives when you have direct access to this infinite source of intelligence. Now bring all three of these aspects together: the beautiful, the loving, the knowledgeable, and feel them integrating within you. Feel them integrating around you, through you. Beautiful, loving, and knowledgeable. This is the new black. This is your essence reclaimed. This is your sovereignty declared. Now, as you move through the world, I want you to carry this new definition of black with you. You can transform not only yourself, but the collective consciousness with this level of knowing of yourself, the beauty, the love, the knowledge. You can break chains for yourself and for generations. This is the work that we've been called to do as Black women, as beautiful, loving women. And now I want you to take one final breath in through your nose, out through your mouth, and exhale and affirm, I am beautiful, I am loving, I am knowledgeable. This is what Black means to me. And when you're ready, I want you to bring your awareness back. You can shake your body, your toes, your fingers, wiggle your head, shake your hair. And I just want you all to remember that this is not just an affirmation. This is a declaration of sovereignty. Like, I know that, this is what we really have to bring into alignment with our soul, our spiritual bodies, to understand that we are so much greater than what we've been taught. And we will continue to speak on this because this is now part of my, go forward message is the Black woman, the beautiful, loving, and knowledgeable woman. No longer the BLACK woman. No longer. And this also is, I didn't get a chance to share this in the beginning. We waited all the way to the end. But this is also powerful for me because it's not limited by race. It's not limited by cultural background. You don't have to have Black skin to be beautiful, a beautiful, loving, and knowledgeable woman. You don't have to have melanated skin to be part of this community. This is for everyone, every woman that is beautiful, loving, and knowledgeable. We all understand that we are in this form temporarily. It is borrowed situation right here. So why limit even who we embrace in our community if we all share the same values? And so that's what this journey is about. It's about a journey of shared values, not just of how we look on our exterior, of how we feel for ourselves and how we feel for others. So if this message resonates with you, I want you to hit me up. I like to see the comments today. I want to see you in my DMs. I want to see you in my comment section. I really appreciate y'all tuning in and showing love. Of course, if you haven't already, I invite you to follow me at I am Erin Patton across social media. And, visit my website, erinpatton.com. I have so many things coming up. I have my Soulful Accelerator that's coming up in the next month or so. I have my master classes. There are just so many things that I'm putting together for all of you that I just cannot wait for you to see and experience and engage with and learn from and grow from and be your best, highest self from. So you guys, this is just the beginning. Okay, this is crazy because this is literally just the beginning. This is just the beginning. And y'all are here to see it, and y'all are here to experience it with me, and y'all are here to share it with me. And I am so grateful to all of you for that. Much love and light. Peace. Did you really love this episode of the Meta Business Millennial Podcast? Well, I am honored, and I appreciate you subscribing, leaving a review, and sharing it with your friends, because your feedback allows us to co-create more enlightened conversations. And if you're interested in growing your soul now, head over to my website, erinpatton.com, to find all the show notes, links, and free resources to get your energy activated today. In the meantime, stay bright, my friends. Much love and light. Peace.